protect yourself.
Yes? What do you want to know? I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
His disdain is clear. This man would not use such an expression otherwise.
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. Better still than an imbecilic cop-off. It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest with 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition. A good joke.
He does not actually think it was a good joke.
It's good we set this thing aside. Was there anything else you wanted to ask about the competition? If not, we should move. Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
He's actually glad it's addressed now. Because you're the best qualified. No, that doesn't seem right. If you're so well qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? Anyway, don't keep...
What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again? There's no reason to wing anything. If you did 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company. Okay then. No. It's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that. I'm relieved that you agree.
He is glad and surprised to see an officer who can appreciate the less than spectacular.
Do you know the feeling when you've begun filling in a crossword, but some of your answers don't quite seem to fit? That's the feeling I have right now, for some reason. Perhaps you're a more proficient cruciverbalist than I am. All I mean to say is that we have a puzzle on our hands, but not all the pieces. Yet. Good.
There.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty? Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk. The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry. Different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of that. Its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
The little brave birch tree seems to wave back.
Hello again, esteemed officer. And cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly...
What in God's name doesn't feel like it's thriving? Feels...
Goodness, you were already doing... Everything is...
She's attempting to mentally direct you to... She smiles. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular sword.
Oh, Man from Hjelmdal. A very popular series of adventure novels. Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical... At last, someone sensible. However, if you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend... esteemed off.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only. Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books?
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put us. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous. Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I am sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers. No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and...
Talking is always good. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. You see a tattered set of curtains and a polyhedron-shaped cage-like trinket. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like...
I warned you! You're unleashing forces beyond your...
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. Only an echo. No, only an echo.
А если болторез?
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you.
Не подходит. А если монтировочкой?
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in...
Все равно нельзя выломать.
I wasn't kidding when I said we're parapsychologically done. You clearly don't care about the consequences. What gives you the right? Don't expect my help from now on. The back door is locked and I threw away the key. I won't trifle with... Do look at the books, though. The books compel you. You may be able to make up for this by buying a lot of books.
Уже не могу никак взломать.
Yes?
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Ow, shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
Are you alright? This looked pretty intense and painful.
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits or you'll damage the whole...
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered in dozens of little charms and trinkets. Only an echo.
Дай ключ. У тебя есть ключ, я знаю.
You've hurt yourself now. I told you not to mess around back there. What are you even trying to accomplish, you fool? You're only making things worse. Stop it. Be compelled to look at the books. Go to them.
Что если...
Hello again, Annette. Yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post? Wonderful. Did you talk to her? Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after...
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening. Good sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her.
Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation. Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children.
Denial is the way she copes with criticism. The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and... These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series.
Детективы на свой детектив.
The plaque on the shelf reads, biographies of...
Биографии.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Ладно, давай биографии, что ли. Выбор не широк, конечно.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into a very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the Innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things. Certainly, it's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love. High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of next to Irv's life story. You see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called The Anti-Star. He's next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a run-down drug den. He's a permanent...
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not...
She understands she has erred against the customer and immediately correct.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce. A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
Бля, у меня 20 реалов, а я тут книги покупаю. Что поделать?
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy. Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see. That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first Dolores Day? Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? Then go with your best guess. Isn't that what students are trained to do when they don't know? Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party. Question 2. Who was the strongest and easy? Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody. Correct. Named the innocence of militarism, he codified hereditary rule, but at the same time ended serfdom and established the Inter-Isolari Real as the global reserve currency. He also established the concept. Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Incorrect. Stepan the Despicable, regent of Kedra, was a ruler who conquered the known world during the Kedriatic conquest instead of the despotic. Incorrect. Kedra is a large nation in the mid-northern area of the Muindi Isola, north of the Occident, between the... Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization and accusations of foul play. The most famous and important of these was Ernau Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4. Who was the greatest innocence? The most incorrect. While Franco Negro built concrete churches and cathedrals, and while many people, especially the Mesque, consider him a father figure, incorrect. He was a violent bastard, out to torture, maim, and correct. The Mesque might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude to everything from inter-isolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your a D. Not particularly remarkable, but technically a passing grade. Not that you would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
What's going on with you? Okay.
You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with...
Man, something's weird about this book. You should do something fun instead. Rock out. Forget about it.
Browsing through the book again, you still have trouble understanding the torrent of information. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. It seems rather unfair to try again after you already... Correct. As the first innocence. Question 2. Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. Correct. Franco Neg. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Correct. The most final stretch. You've come so far. Correct. Everything from Inter-East. Congratulations on finishing an A. All correct. Impressive. Oddly so. You really navigated some treacherous waters here. Well done. The lieutenant is doing his best to... Yeah, sure. It's so much easier once you know the answers, right? Browsing through your education was probably for the best. It wasn't looking too good for you anyway. Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly...
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a...
Crime fiction is a disgrace. And these books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how, what's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The stalwart adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the murder in the orchard. The sword, a killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case. Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective, Dick Mullen. Crime fiction. These books, what's more, not a single mention of... You see, a killing is declared. Yes, tragedy. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your attempt to grasp at the answer fails. It seems very close by, pulsating just out of reach. Mazovian Socioeconomics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmazov fucked him over personally with his socio-economic.
Что испробуй этого пидора? Гореть.
Right to work! Right to work!
сейчас ебаная, блядь, следует.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Чего, блядь?
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike straight into
Нихуя
his
себе,
throat,
блядь.
into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break.
С 17% сработало. Вот это сюрприз.
The man is reeling, gasping for air. Time stands still around you. In the distance, the sounds of the harbor. The man lands with a dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left is the button. As you slam your fist on the button, the man
Looks like you're the new measurehead now.
Прям все-таки монтировка помогла мне.
Her voice is surprisingly.
No one is the new measurehead. Let's go before he gets up.
The man is still knocked.
Бля, я просто лишь мог нажать.
Knocked him out good, like the Flying Desperado. It's that really cool Flying Desperado spin kick you did, Boyadero. Often performed by the most hard-bodied boyaderos on the steps. So, what's on your mind this time? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. I don't believe you. Post L'Aventurier said the same thing. They tried to get me to be their postman. So fun, so easy, they said. It's just walking. It wasn't. I'm doing much better here at the harbor. Being an honest union man with a lot of free time on his hands.
Went native on the chief, huh? Those ballerina antics were reckless. Should have just punched. Let's talk about our right to work.
Да, подтвердила его желание. А он опять там стоит. Охуеть. Что теперь делать? Говорить с ним снова? Он просто встал.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamic. True, I said nothing about our personal dynamic. That
I think this racist is better than the last.
will be the...
He will grant.
Your the lieutenant. You should keep him. Your race descent has temporarily halted, but you will fall again.
Yes?
Так, ну я нажал кнопку, блядь. А что эта кнопка не дала? Я не понимаю. Может быть, я могу в эту дверь войти теперь? О, могу. Нихуя себе. А, мы сюда еще должны вернуться, но... Ебать, я дверь сразу закрыта. Охуеть. А может, здесь переночевать можно? О! Новые очки, они лучше моих. Плюс один логика, минус один авторитет. Ну да, какие-то чудные. У меня лучше. Визуальный анализ и драма.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult pattern. Undoubtedly, no. Sure, why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you.
А чё я скинул?
Yes?
А, можно понравилось дальше. Так, я здесь все изучил. Щупаем, щупаем.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Yes, it does bear the Elysium insignia. And we are the only detective. The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, yes I do.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to... I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours.
Полицейская волна, трепет. Спрыгнуть, что ли? Нет, перчатки. Садовые перчатки. Сумрак. Полный костюм подходит, в принципе.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisund on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard. Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in its deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no...
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
Алло. Почти, да. Не. Завтра утром. Кто умер? Говорила. Знаю. Но я не пойду никуда. Так, это ну поздно, не пойду, потому что потом жарко будет. Я всегда рано гуляю. Да. Ну, как ты говоришь. Может, еще раньше. Она во сколько проснется завтра? Наверное, рано проснется-то. Есть похороны-то у них. А может и в 6. Ну ладно, давай. Антистачников. Так, кто такой антистачник? Погуглю, бля.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
А, революционер.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always... But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Like what, mister? Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. Oh yes, born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, you want Mr. Everard then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Patience. Deep down you have the mental power to keep listening. Not many would, but you do.
Oh, Mr. Everard is usually in his office, of course. But you gotta be quick if you want to see him. He leaves around 10 p.m. Bye-bye now.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. A typical power play. Wait for him to speak first. Show him you've got a backbone.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner.
He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation.
Don't give up, but don't leave either. You're going to have this conversation on your terms. You just need to remain headstrong.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Don't mention it. But also don't forget it. I'm just kidding, of course.
Is he? He's not.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
Are you all right, Harry? You say you got this, but you seem a little anxious to me. Don't be. Everything's good. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
Mr. Dubois, you don't...
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
While Everard is distracted by your odd behavior, the lieutenant's eyes are mapping everything around you. The folder, desk, papers on the wall.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure...
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Yes, thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed. Now please, let the professionals do their job. Kick back, Harry, relax. I have great guys on this.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
He is not.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny fat guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this? You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what? I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me.
He's hiding his real reaction beneath.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
The stars aligned into a cosmic frown here. He has your fate decided. Bide your time, however, and let the stars continue their course, and that frown shall turn into a smile. Only if you play along.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker too. He'll tell you, just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. Please extend him this courtesy. You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you, now that he's back on his feet. Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white union man.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old...
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot it.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and there's sparse contents. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. The girl is young and René looks like he's about to smile. This photo...
Why did you take that picture of René? Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping.
This is the...
Я думал, что это надо спрыгнуть и наебнуться. Только с поворотом. Прикольно, так только вниз смотрит. Интересно.
Your race descent has temporarily halted, but so it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior, then had him.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
That would mean you're openly showing the people that you're taking the Union's side.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Cool, I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound? He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everott's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
The man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today. And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Что за хуйню они несут, бывает? Действительно.
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Fine. It's a 3-part form to be filled out on the scene by the detectives responsible. One takes notes, the other dictates. A scalpel is not always required. I hope this is one of those cases. Latex gloves are, however. Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical...
You're being handled. If you resist now, he will turn on his heavy-duty authority mode. You will get...
Yes, you see, the field autopsy form is the one on red copy of paper.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there.
KK57-0803.0815. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10.
KK 57 0503 081.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment. A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on.
We should start the postmortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing.
The boots are ceramic. Vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown.
Fucking low velocity! You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max! Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark. Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Concentrate on the belt. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant...
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering above. Last item, hands. Hands are clean, no sign of a recent struggle. Ooh, that's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth.
Yeah, Jack, that fucker!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are no scream. No sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again.
Hepatobiliary, Na. Same for toxicology and serology, Na. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 feels. Leave a 4th one too. Nothing. Just in case. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused... And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? Not just yet. Let's get what we know it isn't out of the way first. Not just yet. Let's get what we know it is... Not just yet. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say... I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the...
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around...
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say?
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Now, you see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a...
Please get yourself together. The lieutenant from...
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg for processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corporal. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my...
Okay. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can take care of the rest. It's too late to take him into processing today. I'll take him first thing tomorrow. Yes?
Hello again, sweetie.
Can I help you?
This is the door to the room you redecorate.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply...
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable. Our inspection could have been more thorough, as it always can. But we have some. In addition, we got that body down from the tree. And we performed a field autopsy on the victim. I still feel like we missed something. But maybe the boys in processing will surprise us. We still have... Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean. Including Evrard Clare, a daunting adversary. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
We talked to Joyce, monsieur, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much...
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age, and in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green, goes with the orange.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. This soldier is the highlight of the day.
They really don't like us here. The Union, the teenagers too. It's different in land. In Jamrock, it's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our system...
Night. Captain Bartholomew Price steps into the yard. A piebald horse waits by the motor garage, chewing oats out of an oat bag. Seagulls fly overhead. The sky is black. Rows of houses on either side, hunching over the sidewalks. And Precinct 41, with its dome roof growing distant. Around him, the streets are silent. Thanks, kid, he thinks. He's grateful.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Стоять, ну...
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside this section includes a long, tedious critique. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds with comrade, but so please, you flip back to the front of the magazine. It takes a, as you leave, the main feature though, is this soap, that certain, that if you don't, you think instead, where to even, so, all of it. Oddly, there's no way. Have you ever met under capitalism? Thus, and that at the end of, sure, this flimsy, that's because you flip back. This section, you also, face it, you flip back to the, unsurprised, you skim, finally, there's a brief one of the editor, you flip back to the front of the, unsurprised, you skim, finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Cape Side apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communists. According to why do communists? You flip back to the front of the magazine. Unsurprisingly, you skim. Finally, there's a brief. According, it goes on. You flip back to the front of the magazine. Unsurprised. You finally, according to the why you flip back. This you also face it. You flip back to the unsurprised. You skim. Finally, according why you flip back to the unsurprised. You skim. Finally, there's a the writer. It's true. You flip back to this sec. You face. You come. But like so. You this. You face. You come. But so. You come. But so. You come. But so. You comrade. As you, but so please. You flip back. This section includes. You also face it. You flip back to. The Greatest Innocence by browsing through your education. It seems rather unfair to try again after you or a pop quiz. Thanks for not Dolores Day. Dolores. Incorrect. Sola resigned after an assassination attempt by a Yugo nationalist who incorrect. Her color. Steer clear of this one. A strange sensation of yes. The quiz is incorrect. Her color. Steer clear of this one. A strange sensation. Yes. The quiz is incorrect. Her color. Steer clear. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. Correct. As the question easy. Everybody knows the answer. And innocent. I can do better. Great. Dolores. Incorrect. Incorrect. Vespa Messina is not an innocent. I can do better. Damn. Dolores. Incorrect. Even though the... Please. Relax. An innocent. Damn, Dolores. Incorrect. Even though the... Please. Relax. Incorrect. Incorrect. Correct. Franco Nick. Question 3. Who? Yes. There seemed, at least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't. Incorrect. Incorrect. Yes. There seemed, at least it, yes. There seemed, at least it clearly, no. Stop. Correct. The most final stretch. Of course, 0 doubt. Of course, 0. Incorrect. Oh yes. Yes. Incorrect. Oh yes. Yes. Incorrect. Of course, 0 doubts. Incorrect. Incorrect. Oh yes. Yes. Of course, 0 doubt. Incorrect. Of course, 0. Oh yes. Yes. Oh, correct. Everything. Congratulate. A D you would have done, but endless browsing through your ed probably for the. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage. There's a piece of toilet. It's a below the pathetics. It's just toilet paper. Stick into the. If you want it to be kitchen tissue. It says this stink. An aluminium block runs. The surface is interrupted. To be honest, somewhere a bunch of sodden. They're not once in a while. Work. It's the middle of March. You have attempted a lot. Does it? Yes. A title. One might say yes. Others. You like this. It's going to take. There is. For sadly. Onto the paper, inspect the get the interview. It's not exact. A things to be done and things already done. The compass. This would be like a fan of girls. The checkered papers drop. Yes, a title. One might say even. Arson, petty theft. There is. Sadly, onto the paper. Inspect. Get the interview. It's not exactly a things to. This would be like a fan of girl. There is. For sadly, onto the paper. Inspect. Get interview. It's not a things to. This would be like a fan of girls. Yes, a title. One might say yes. Others. You like this. It's going to take an effort to piece the. There is like a fan of girl. There is. Sadly, onto the paper. Inspect the. Get the interview. The cafet. It's not exactly a things to. This would be like a fan of girl. Yes, a title. Yes. Others. You like. It's going to take an effort. There. Sadly, the onto the paper. Inspect. Get interview. It's not a things. This would be like a fan of girls. The checkered papers. You don't exactly close them. So much as distance yourself from the. It's proving to be harder than expected. You just don't have the arson, petty theft, spouse. You don't exactly in the back, then rip. 3. You don't have to be an intellectual giant. A monetary, but they appear. A monetary, but they appear. The color of the irises. Predation. Yes, the rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. It's made of dark blue, the blue heart. The plastic shimmers like lapis with your hands. You 4-sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the is not a hot flat. It's unjust. The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on. It's made of blue, the blue heart. Don't look into with your hands. You 4-sized. A crinkled chewing gum wrapper. Can I use? You carefully. The greatest innocence. Wrap your. It seemed a pop. Thanks for nothing. Dolores. Incorrect. Solar. A pop. Thanks. Dolores. Incorrect. Her color. Steer clear. Yes. The quiz. Incorrect. Her colors. Steer clear. A strange scent. Yes. The quiz. Incorrect. Her colors are silver. Steer clear. Yes. The quiz. A pop quiz. Thanks. Dolores Day. Incorrect. Her colors. Steer clear. Yes. The quiz is impersonal. Incorrect. Her colors. Steer clear of this one. Yes. The quiz. Incorrect. Her colors. Steer clear. Yes. The quiz. Correct. As the first question 2. Easy. Everybody knows the answer. Incorrect. Vespa miss. Correct. Franco Nick. Question 3. Who was the No. Stop thinking it. Incorrect. Correct. The most final stretch. You've come so far. Correct. Everything. A D. Not particularly remarkable. You would have done, but endless.
Can I help you?